찡하시면 눌러주시고 신나게 한판 놀아봅시다.
아름다운 서울로 모십니다.
오늘날에
영정마누라
내 받아가요
전하 영정
지하 영정 옥황 영정 신선의 영정 영정마누라 오실 적에 배우단녀 신축년에 달의 월색 정월달에 달의 봉송 좋은 날입니다. 하늘땅으로 설법의 용정 인간이 생겨 독립의 용정 빨리 타국에 사신의 용정 이고랑 상산 본향의 용정 상산 수살 목신의 용정 홀로 내려 수살에도 용정 토왕 터전 진신의 용정 한마루로 산의 용정 하나만세 오늘날에 영정마누라 내 받아가요 전하 영정 지하 영정 옥황 영정 신선의 영정 영정마누라 오실 적에 배우단녀 신축년에 달의 월색 정월달에 달의 봉송 좋은 날입니다. 물속으로 거세 영정 마당전으로 벼락의 영정 대속간으로 직사의 영정 아리던 영정 쓰리더니 영정 영정마누라 내다 불고 이단 바람 이려나 불고 물결같이 살펴주고 도화를 줄 때 잘 받아놔요 저는 삼대 법삼대요 나는 삼대 대수야 삼대로 전하 영정 지하 영정 영정마누라 영정각시 열을 줘요 영정
날 밟고 일어나 고개를 들면 주렁이 시간 경부에 아직도 젊은 시절을 그리단 말고 내가 모르겠다 한잔하자 노자 세월에만 한잔 마셔보자 바짝 피우게 바짝 피고 내가 하늘이다 이것들아 이렇게 망가지거든 어이 그저 그게 웃기 이런 눌러도 아리 저런 눌러도 아리 내 꽃바지에 웃어보 눌러도 아리 이런 눌러도 아리 저런 눌러도 아리 그러면 눌러도 아리
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seoul Tourism Talk Concert Fashion Chapter of 2021 SITM and SITMMT. I would like to extend my sincere welcome to our audience. I am Jung Ji-young, the MC for today's session. As you know well, the topic of this talk concert is the collaboration between Seoul and fashion. The Korean wave is spreading all across the world on the back of K-pop and K-drama. And Korea, as well as Korea's trendy city of Seoul, is now loved by people all around the world. And as part of this Korean wave, Hanbok, which is the traditional attire of Korea, is enjoying growing awareness and love across the world. As you know, Kingdom, the K-drama, featured kat, which is Korea's traditional hat. And people around the world were fascinated by this kat, the traditional hat of Korea. Also, BTS and Blackpink, the iconic K-pop stars, wore fusion hanbok or fashion hanbok in their music videos, and this has garnered attention from all across the world. Today, we have the person who designed the hanbok worn by Blackpink in their music video, and we have the talk concert fashion chapter with this designer. As a designer of fusion hanbok, she is charming the entire global community. She is the designer of hanbok and the CEO of Tanha Judan brand. Her name is Tanha Kim. She is right here with me. Hello. Hello, I am Tanha Kim, the CEO of Tanha Judan. Yes, Tanha Judan is your brand. There may be some people who are still unfamiliar with your brand, so could you please introduce your brand, please? Yes. Tanha is a brand on not just traditional attire, but it's specialized on sustainable value creation through various traditional elements. Great. So you are specialized in traditional heritage. That's the essence of your spirit. And also you combine sustainability to traditional elements. Yes, that's correct. We have had a fashion show under 4 different concepts just now, and I would like to once again show you some of the representative pieces and talk about them with Tanha Kim. So let us bring the first model to the stage. So this is very impressive in terms of the beautiful pattern. So could you please describe this piece, please? Yes. This piece features tanchang, which is a traditional type of painting that's seen in the traditional palaces of Korea. You see the 3 patterns from tanchang. Over here, you see the floral pattern. Over here, you see what's called 삶이 보리금, which is a pattern in Korea. So it represents the pattern of rice kali, and this pattern is also inspired by 단청. So this is called 물레금 because it features the pattern inspired by the spinning wheel. Yes, those are all beautiful patterns. And thanks to you, I was also honored to wear this beautiful piece. So these have been inspired by the splendid patterns on the wooden traditional buildings of Korea. Is that right? Yes, that's correct. And over here, you see that the skirt is divided into multiple pieces. So this is what we call a stranded skirt. And if you look at the top, the 저고리, which you know, which is basically the top jacket, in Hanbok uses buttons. However, it's called 방명깃 because it has a special type of color. Yes, it's very unique. And also, if you look at the bottom here, it also has a very unique shape. Yes, this is what we call 끝동. And if you look at a girl's traditional jacket with multicolored strip, that's where we got inspired from. And the cuff of the sleeve has been inspired by the multicolored sleeve in girls' jackets. So it has a unique color as well as a unique sleeve or a unique cuff. Yes, thank you. I really appreciate your explanation about all of these beautiful inspirations. This was our first piece. Thank you so much. And now, let us bring the second piece of Hanbok to the stage. Please come up to the stage. Could you please explain about the theme or the inspiration for the second piece? Yes. So if you look at the second piece and if you look at what she's wearing inside, it's inspired by charlik, which is what men used to wear traditionally. This is a modern interpretation of menswear. What do you think this material is? It looks familiar. Is it cotton? It does feel like cotton, but actually it is organic cotton, and it's actually a recycled fabric that uses recycled PET bottles. I see, so this is a sustainable fabric. Yes, that's correct. And another interesting factor about this piece is, could you please raise your arms? Over here, you see this puff at the top of the arms. So there is a type of 저고리 called 붕어배, and that had a rounded puff at the bottom, but we interpreted it in a modern way, so the puff comes at the top instead of the bottom of the arm. And this is basically what I'm wearing right now as well, in a different color. I see. And this model is a very special person. Currently, she's a member of Global Soulmate. Could you introduce yourself, please? Yes. Hello. First of all, I am delighted to be part of this event today. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm from Finland. I am Julia. And I actually came to Korea to study. And I loved Korea. I fell in love with Korea, so I decided to stay in Korea. I see, so you were a student and now you work in Korea? Yes, now I work in Korea and I do social media activities, and also I am featured on TV shows so that I can inform the world of what Korea is about. Thank you so much. Today, she is here as a member of Global Soulmate, which is Seoul's tourism promotion organization. And how do you feel about Hanbok? Well, actually, I've been living in Korea for quite some time now, and so I did actually have multiple occasions when I wore hanbok. And when you wear hanbok, it's a traditional attire, and also it's what what used to be worn by the king or the queen. So those were usually the hanbok attires that I wore, and they're of course beautiful, and actually they are more comfortable than you would expect. However, they are a little bit too fancy for me, and they are not necessarily appropriate for everyday wear. They are not completely practical. So these modern interpretations of hanbok that I'm wearing right now are very comfortable, and the patterns as well as the shape of the skirt, they retain the beauty of traditional hanbok, and also they are appropriate for everyday wear. And that's what I love about these modern hanbok styles. Yes, I think you got it exactly right. I'm not sure if you felt it when you're wearing this, but actually there's a hidden pocket here so that you can even put your smartphone in your pocket. Oh, I didn't know. Yes, we definitely need a pocket. Yes. So we maintain the traditional beauty of hanbok while providing you with the comfort and convenience for everyday wear. Yes, and I think the color as well as the fit of this particular piece suits you perfectly, and I'm sure that you have enjoyed today's experience. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that was our second model from Finland, Julia. And now let us invite the third model to the stage. Welcome. Hello. We have this beautiful pink fairy look. Could you introduce yourself, please? Yes. Hello, I am from Turkey. I'm currently a member of Global Soulmate, and I am serving as a cultural ambassador of Seoul. And currently, I completed master's degree in economics, and I'm preparing for a PhD degree in Korea. Wow, that is impressive. You gave us so much information about yourself in such a short time, and we really appreciate it. You're from Turkey, and you are going to do a PhD degree in Korea? Yes. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? How do you feel about how you look today? I love it.
Well, actually, I first saw this outfit in the music video of Blackpink, and at that moment, I just thought to myself it was so trendy, and I didn't have any idea that that outfit was Korean traditional costume hanbok. And wearing this today, well, it feels like a high fashion attire, and it's really sophisticated and trendy. Yes, it is, and it fits to herself perfectly. What do you think? Well, as she has just mentioned, this outfit was worn by Blackpink members for their music video, How You Like That, and it gained lots of attention from the world, and it has beautiful colors in particular. Well, this color is from the relics of traditional palace of Korea. What do you think? Well, this pattern was inspired by the royal patterns of porcelains. Well, the clothing and the pattern were inspired by the men's costume worn in the ancient times. Please raise your arms. In the past, as you see here, this is the line of the sleeve, and this vest is called peja, which is a traditional version of hanbok. It's beautiful. And what do you think? Does it feel uncomfortable by any means? No, not at all. It's really comfortable than I expected, and it's quite trendy. And I think I can make a catwalk in Gangnam area wearing this. You must be really popular. Yes, you'll get lots of popularity from other people if you wear it for the party. Well, actually, I wore this for the Halloween party last year. Please put hashtag Danha if you are gonna wear this costume for Halloween. And thank you very much. And we only have the fourth theme with the last model. Please come forward to the stage. Wow, it's a really homemaking costume. Yes, it is. The last theme is upcycling. You may have already heard of it. From the beginning of our maison, we have started from tradition and also upcycling because we didn't want to make any harm to nature and environment. So we wanted to create sustainable costumes. And well, we used to rent a wedding dress, a wedding gown for the marriage ceremony, but once worn, majority of those wedding gowns are discarded. I felt so sorry for that, and I wanted to recreate it as Hanbok Korean traditional costume. That's the project we call upcycling project. As you see here, there's a patchwork of the patterns. These patchworks are made of discarded cloth of wedding gowns, and there are ruffles as well and ripples, and these are original patterns of the wedding gown discarded. It is stunning. As you see inside, there are lots of decorations, manual decorations I would say, and there seems to be not one but many wedding gowns used for this costume. Yes, it's true. So we displayed the different patchworks and different cloth and patterns of wedding gowns to make a complete skirt here. So we didn't want to waste anything from the wedding gown we used. And this sugechima was actually a veil of the wedding gown. And these beads are also originated from the wedding gown, so nothing was discarded, nothing was left over. And the result is beautiful, but the process itself was so sophisticated, and I can tell that you must have put lots of effort and time for this costume. Thank you very much. Well then, let's take a seat again to continue our conversation. But tradition and heritage, these two values are quite covered by the media. And I came to know after reading an article about you that your grandfather was a master of Korean traditional knots. And did he influence on your work? Well, actually, before starting my career as a Korean costume hanbok designer, I didn't notice that. But I started designing hanbok from when I was in high school. So I think that I was naturally influenced by my grandfather. Because you were used to that kind of culture, right? Yes, I was exposed to that hanbok culture, and I naturally came to have an interest in making hanbok. Well, in this era, sustainability, to have it as a brand value must have not been an easy path. How was it like? Yes, you're right. Before commencing my brand at Danha, I used to run a small business of renting hanbok online, like renting wedding gowns online. But in terms of revenues, it is much profitable than Danha, Judan, but well, if I have to keep a brand for a lifetime, I thought that I had to pursue a specific value, and in that sense, I came to create a brand called Danha Judan. The lifelong philosophy of Danha Judan seems to be really different and differentiated. And speaking of hanbok, I have a question. Many foreigners, what do you think? How do you think they are fascinated by your hanbok as an expert? Well, I also am curious to know the feedback of foreigners on YouTube and on many different social media channels. And I came to know that they are firstly fascinated by the stories of Korean hanbok, for example. Well, the outfits that you recall from our models in the fashion show were actually inspired by the men's costume in the ancient times, and there are different patterns that could be used for different grades of social status. And foreigners found it quite interesting. And also royal patterns that I used for the design of hanbok had their own unique stories. And some people commented that they researched for further detailed information at the Korean traditional museums to learn more about royal patterns. Yes, by listening to your stories, it comes to my mind one specific idea that the Korean Hanbok could garner more attention about Korean culture and tradition from foreigners, and that's a real ambassador of Korean culture. Yes, you're right. Tourism and fashion. We're here for those two topics, but some may think that there is a big distance, far distance between these two values. So, as a specialist, could you please recommend some ways of collaborating these two? Well, when I am much influenced by the Fashion Week. There are 4 major international fashion weeks, and I tried to visit those 4 fashion weeks as much as possible. And I was told that the online booth of Seoul Fashion Week got the highest number of online visitors and spectators, and that means that Korean fashion is such competitive one, and we should also contribute to that as Danha Judan. So by leveraging the resources and online and animation and diverse content, we try to promote Korean Hanbok to the outer world. Yes, you have been gaining step by step the attention from the world, and sometimes you're going to reach the tipping point to have a big ripple effect on the world. And within that, I would like to ask for your continuous role in the industry as the representative and CEO of Danha Judan. And I now would like to know your future plan, because your business doesn't have a long history up until now. So in 5 years to come, what kind of plans do you have? Well, our future plan is like this. Well, every Korean hanbok designer has a dream to make a hanbok a worldly renowned outfit. And I think that dream is in line with the vision of fashion of Seoul. And to make Seoul a worldly renowned fashion city, what we have to do is to design outfits that could create empathy and that could respond to the desire of overseas customers. And to that end, I will study harder and further. Yes, I am so confident that you will make it, because I can feel the energy of the CEO of Danha Judan just next to her. I can just feel it. And this is the last question that I would like to ask. Well, there's a TV program called You Quiz, and their last question also goes like this. Well, if you would describe Seoul and fashion in 5 Korean characters, what would you like to say? Well, Seoul as a fashion city, let me think. The 4th wave? The 4th wave? Well, I think I've heard of the 3rd wave. Yes, that was the inspiration. Well, actually, the wave represents innovation and some new ideas. So what we are going to make, like a leading fashion or contents, will create a new wave with K-beauty and K-fashion. So that in that sense, I would like to describe Seoul as a fashion city. The 4th wave, that's a fantastic idea. The 4th wave, it was an answer made by Ms. Kim Danha, CEO of Danha Judan. Now it is time to wrap up this conversation, talk a concert, and please would like to wave our hand to our spectators out there, and this is the end of our conversation. Thank you very much.